All right, so I'm pretty sad. I just posted my video on my deck list, and I went and then played a game on Spell Table, and I was going to record one match and then send it over to you, on the Discord channel. I mean, on the YouTube channel. And these are the cards I used, and I did win the game, and it was an awesome, awesome game. I wanted to quickly go over what the game was like and how it went. Um, I got hit with the Ragavan early. I lost those two cards, which was a Chain of Vapor and a Dark Ritual. I had a Jewel Lotus in my hand, turn one, and I played a Luxury Suite. And I cracked this for blue, and I tapped this for black, and I cast Silas. It went around. I then swung, recast this, sacked it, cast Bark, played a land. It was an Ancient Tomb. I then had a Mox Amber in my hand. I then passed the turn around. Nobody went to search. However, on my turn, I did have an I do have an opposition agent in my hand. So end step, I flashed this in anyway for value. I then untapped upkeep and I drew a card. And when I drew a card, I drew Marilyn of the freaking Mornsong, which was actually like wild. It was such a good draw off the top. I ended up sorry, actually what happened was is I played Gitaxian Probe, and I had two draw triggers on Gitaxian Probe. One of the cards I drew was the Marilyn of the Mornsong, and the other card that I drew was Flare of Duplication. And in my hand, I had a Swansong already, and I gotta remember what and I had a Jace's Archivist. Anyway, anyway, so I played this combo out, and I presented them the combo, and I was like, hey, I'm locking you guys out of the game. I had seen two players' hands, and I had known in their hand that they had ways to kill the creatures, so they weren't really willing to surrender yet. However, I did have a Swampong in my hand, and I had a Force of Will in my hand, and I had a Archmage Emrys in my hand. Something like that. So on my turn, um, I I then played a Morphic Pool for my land. I tapped like so to cast the Marilyn of the Mornsong, and I had one blue floating. Yeah, black, and then colorless. I lost life, of course. Did all that fun stuff. Um, I then the Zada player. So I was going against a Gitrog. I was going against these like the Zada deck where it's like the companion like fox creature, a white and black, and he went for the win. He had the Basalt Monolith, he had the Grim Monolith, he in his hand he had, and then he had land and things like that to play his commander. So he went for the win, and I Swansonged one of his basalt or whatever it was, and then a guy Beseju the other rock that goes infinite with his deck, and then I ended up force of willing his commander. It was like this whole long thing. So we ended up stopping him from winning. I exiled that. My Quark flips landed. I was so sad that. Oh! What happened was actually I cast a Swansong and I sacked my Quark to cast Flare Duplication to make sure that this hit and to make sure like my Quark copy wouldn't like fail me. And so that's how I ended up guaranteeing that. And then the Force of Will pitching the Archmage Emrys, I just got lucky and rolled the dice on that. This ended up getting a Tails, which for me was copying, so that went to the graveyard. I then had one card left in hand, and the Sisay player ended up killing the Marilyn of the Mornsong because they wanted to draw cards, and he had a kill spell, so that happened. I then ended up playing Jace's Archivist, and I ended up wheeling, and with the next turn cycle, I do a wheel, and I end up drawing into this Nightmare card. So I ended up recasting my Lotus, and I played my Quark, things like that, right? Kept doing that combo. I then played my Nightmare, and someone had killed my opposition agent, and I then used the Nightmare to bring back, sacrificing my Quark or whatever it was at the time. No, I had a 3/3 Beast or something. I don't remember. I killed it and I sacrificed it. I got my opposition agent back. The next turn, I then cast again, got my Marilyn Warren song back out. So this was able to like do nuts work for me this game. this Catholian Nightmare. It actually was insane because I just need 3 energy, and I pay 3 energy, and I get these creatures back. And I was able to get them back from the graveyard, which I've actually never done in this type of. However, I also had played land and whatnot throughout the turn cycles, and I was able to use Talon Gates of Madara, the 4 ability. Like I tapped 4 right here, and I believe I used the ability on the end step, and I got rid of one of their stacks pieces. Whatever Lavinia, whatever creature that was, like a Lavinia creature, so you can't play free spells. So I phased that out with this, and that was the first time I used this card in like live action, and it worked so freaking good. So Talon Gates of Madara, this card is actually wild. This actually stops my little janky combo here because you could like phase out on your untap upkeep, boom, phase this out, and then go to draw your card, and then or have opposition gone so you can go search your library. You can like pick one, right? For like the opponents if they had this land in their hand. So it's actually a pretty good land. It interacts really well, and I was happily surprised on how well it did. And then after I played these 2 cards again from the graveyard, um, they were quite upset and saw the loop. So then I tapped this. Of course, I replayed that. I ended up playing like some land. I sacrificed the traders. I had this on the field, and then I tapped this. I windfalled us. We all discarded our hands because Maryland the Mornsong was on the field. We all drew no cards, and that's how. Then they all scooped, of course, because they were fully locked out. Everyone had no cards in their hand. I had already taken the Gitrog monsters Wincon out of his decks because of Maryland the Mornsong. I took his the land, the Reg land. I took that out of his deck. But he was having a really hard time winning the white red box creature Zada or whatever the name is. I had already stopped him from winning, and his cards were all in his graveyard. And then the Sisei player was fully locked out with opposition agent and had already used removal to remove the Maryland the Mornsong the first time, and so didn't really have much more interaction after that, and they had no cards in there. So it was like a full lockout. It worked perfectly. They actually kind of got mad and rage quit. 2 of them did, and then the other guy was like, the Sisei player was like, oh man, that's pretty bad sportsmanship. They just like got angry and left. Like they like made some comment and then left the game. And my goal isn't to like make the game rage. I'm playing CEDH. I'm locking the game out. I want to win the game. I'm here to win. I'm not here or to go to a draw. Like I'm cool with going to a draw a lot of the times. However, I won that game because I had the ability to win it. So it feels bad. Boom was one of the guys I played against. He was playing the Zadra deck. He's a little salty, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Have a good night, guys. Try the deck out.